Speaking more on parametric equations, notice here I've got two parametric equations. How do I know? Because x is defined as a function of t and y is defined as a function of t. And they give me some boundaries for t. T runs from -3 inclusive to +3 inclusive. Sorry about that. To +3 inclusive. Note the third parameter or the third variable in addition to x and y is t. But because t goes from -3 to 3, I can infer that t is not time because up to this point, we can't go backwards in time. It's just a parameter. Sometimes the parameter is theta. The third parameter is theta. Sometimes it's g. Sometimes it's t. Most of the time when it's t, it is equal to time. But in this case, because t is negative, I conclude, oh, that's probably not time. What I can do now is substitute -3 in for t and find all of my x's. X is defined as a function of t. -3 squared is 9 plus 2 times -3 is 9 minus 6 is 3. -2 squared is 4 minus 4 is 0. -1 squared is 1 minus 2 is -1. 0 and 0 goes to 0. 1 goes 1 plus 2 is 3. And 2 squared is 4 plus 2 times t is 4 plus 4 is 8. And if I put a 3 in here, I get 15. Now I can substitute the same numbers, -3 through 3, integers in for this. I'm just going to add 1 to each. -3 plus 1 is -2. -2 plus 1 is -1, etc. So now I've got my ordered pairs. When I graph this, it's going to look something like this. Here's my x-axis and my y-axis. 3, -2 is here. 0, -1 is there. -1, 0 is there. 0, 1 is there. 3, 2 is there. 8, 3 is there. And way over here we have 15, 4. So my graph is going to look something like this. I'm sorry, I cut across my table here. Now, we can also talk about the orientation of this. We had t equals -3. That was our smallest t, and it gave us this point, 3, -2. And when we went out to t equals 3, we got this point, 15, 4. Because when I graphed it, the points came out in this order, we could say the orientation of this goes like this. I'm not going to stress this on our test, but if you are asked for the orientation of a parametric equation, it will be going in order as you're following the table. Now we can answer, knowing that this point is -1, 0, we can answer questions like, what is the domain? Well, the domain is smallest x to biggest x, -1 to 15, inclusive. And the range is the smallest y, -2, to the biggest y. So the range here would be -2 up to 4.